Good evening, this is Amy Sainunge. I will call the Tuesday, June 6th, 2023 Selectmen's meeting to order. All three selectmen are present, and we will begin with the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. All right, so we had scheduled a Board of Selectmen special meeting on May 15th. That had been canceled. I'll make a motion that we accept the meeting minutes from the Board of Selectmen special meeting on May 16th, 2023.
Second.
Okay, motion and a second. Any discussion on? It should not have been special meeting, it was the meeting on May 16th. So the actual, I revised my motion to be just the Board of Selectmen meeting minutes from May 16th, 2023.
Yeah, it's just the agenda that's special meeting.
Right.
I'll second it.
Okay, any discussion?
I'm good.
Yeah,
I was
no,
good with that.
I'm good.
All right, all in favor of approving the Board of Selectmen meeting minutes from May 16th, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. That motion passes. Make a motion that we approve the Board of Selectmen special meeting minutes from May 18th, 2023. It was a special meeting.
Second.
Okay, motion and a second. Any discussion on these minutes?
I have nothing.
They look accurate to me.
Yeah.
Good.
Okay, all in favor of approving the Board of Selectmen special meeting minutes from May 18th, say
Aye.
aye. So we had also scheduled a special meeting for May 19th. That was canceled because we did the meeting on May 18th. And then the last minutes for tonight to approve is the Board of Selectmen special meeting minutes, May 30th of 2023, for the purposes of interviewing for animal control officer. Make that motion.
Second.
Okay, motion and a second. Any discussion on these minutes?
Nope.
Okay, all in favor of approving the minutes from the Board of Selectmen special meeting on May 30th, say aye.
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 And I abstain as I was absent.
Correspondence, CCM, discount prescription card usage for the program through CCM. We've received information about that. And then the Chamber of Commerce Business After Hours is being held this Thursday at Jewett City Savings Bank in Plainfield from 5 to 7. Always a great time for networking. If you're a business and you want to attend and network, if you are a member of the Northeast Chamber of Commerce, it is $7 and $13. If you're a non-member, it is always a good event to attend. Any other correspondence to present to the board this evening? Okay. With that, we will move forward to selectmen comments. Any selectmen comments at this time?
There's definitely things to talk about. It hasn't been quiet in town by any means, as we all know. The letter that went out was very disturbing. To say the least, it was appalling. Anybody that has read it, that has seen it, you wouldn't let your kids read it. It's a shame that that is going on. You know, the next thing we got is the, as we all know, is the budget for next week. Presented back to the voters, and hopefully they come out and vote their conscience, and we can move on from there.
Okay.
So it's Tuesday, the 13th,
That is correct.
from 12 to 8. As far as the letter goes, it's appalling. It's something that this town should not tolerate. And I know, I can't imagine who would put that kind of wording and language in a document, a written document, and then pass it around town. It's just unacceptable. But on a positive note, I just came from Thompson Auditorium, where I was at the Orton Gillingham Teacher Certification Ceremony, where they are now teaching, they have 9 teachers that have gone through a rigorous 1-year program to learn how to teach Orton Gillingham. That's, for anyone that doesn't know, that's a phonics-based program that's been proven effective. And the earlier that you can intervene, the better for some kids that have struggled with reading. It changes their destiny. And I am just so excited. I had to share it with you all. So this is big. 9 teachers have taken on this program and learned how to teach reading, and it will make a difference for so many of our kids. It's really a good thing.
Awesome, awesome. Only because it's been brought up, I will address the letters that were distributed. I believe that this individual has mental instability. I don't think that it should be sensationalized or glorified. The police are actively investigating, and it has been turned over to the hate crimes unit, as it should be. And hopefully we can get some surveillance that can conclude who possibly this individual was or is, or individuals. I will leave it at that. I'm not a fan of the Facebook. I never have been. Most people know that I tend to shy away from doing anything with Facebook posts. I think people get very brave. And again, in this act, it was an individual who was a coward and couldn't state their name. I never hold any weight to anybody that writes a letter and can't put their name to what they've written. So I will leave it at that. On a positive note, they're going to begin doing some maintenance on our roads. We'll be doing some chip sealing on most of the roads that have been recently done in town. And again, that's a preservation method that we use in order to preserve roads for a longer period of time. So that's going to be again next week. They're finishing up some of the sweeping on the roads. A lot of things are happening. We're also finishing up, we finished up the drainage work on Fabian Road. Hoping the budget passes. That is a major road that has been an issue for many years. And we certainly want to be able to do that major road project. And that should be starting within a few weeks as well. We've applied for the encroachment permits for some of the local roads that abut state highways. And we're pretty excited. Joe at the Public Works Garage is doing a fantastic job. He will be at the next Selectmen's meeting to give all of us an update on what's been happening in the garage and what his plans are for the summer.
Oh,
He
good.
wants to keep you apprised. So he will be coming to our meetings more often in order to do that.
Wonderful.
So lots of good things happening in town in the midst of all of the controversy and the negativity. But we will rise and we will overcome and be a better town for it. So that's my thoughts.
Good.
Yeah. Any other selectmen comments? All right, so we will move on to citizen comments. We will begin in the live audience because there are so many people here in the live audience. And then we will move to the virtual audience. So in the live audience, if you have a comment, please stand up, state your name and address for the record. Anybody? Okay. How about the virtual audience? Is there anybody in the virtual audience? Mr. Angelo. State your name and address, please, sir.
640 Fabian Road, North Grosvenor. Technically Fabian, but possibly Quinnebog, not sure. It's just I don't get mail delivered to the house. So quick question for you, Amy. Do you know who owns the billboard that is outside of Hometown Bank?
I have
Question being, I mean, you have to stand at a 25-degree angle in order to read it correctly, but can we get some pressure on whoever owns that to either one, take it down, straighten it, or keep a consistent billboard up there?
Yes, thank you for bringing that up. I have actually reached out to them. It is Great Woods Media. Standish Johnson is the parent company. I have reached out to them a couple times recently, and I have been talking to Terry, our building official, because I believe that he needs to step in as well, because I think it's a hazard. I think it's eminently going to fall, and God forbid it falls on somebody.
Not that I'd ever want to see anything destroyed in town, but that would be the first thing. All right, thank you.
I do agree with you. Any other citizen comments from the virtual audience? Feel free to, Ms. Clark.
Valerie Clark, 105 Elm Road. And I'm unfortunately trying to get ahead of the agenda item that's coming up. I see that we have a packed house. I wanted to say that I'm greatly disappointed at the last selectmen's meeting, and then for the agenda item that's on this one, that the reaction to the voters voting against the last budget is to raise taxes that the voters don't have control over and propose new ones. So I wanted to go on record as saying that before I even get to hear what the agenda item is that's coming up on creating new taxes. Thank you.
Thank you. And I hope you'll stay tuned to hear the actual background of what that tax really means. All right, any other citizen comments at this time? Okay, hearing none, we will move on to a resolution regarding Connecticut Water Company easement. So quite a few months back, Connecticut Water approached us. They're going to be disconnecting the water line that goes through the town parking lot. They're going to be redirecting it down through the egress from the school and then connecting to the newest water line that was installed back in 2018, which extends in front of the egress and where the egress to the school and Route 12 meets. It was either 17 or 18. So forgive me if I get the names wrong, but they've replaced multiple lines, including the Main Street line. And most recently in the fall, they did the new line that goes underneath the bridge on Main Street, which connected it all. So this is the last piece to that reconstruction and that renovation. I've had this easement reviewed by the town attorney. He has approved it. He did make a few minor adjustments, but he did approve this. And what I'm looking for from the Board of Selectmen tonight is to approve this easement and me signing of this easement for Connecticut Water Company so they can continue the work. We did a site walk today. We did a pre-construction meeting today with Connecticut Water, Buffington Associates, who's the contractor doing the work. Bill Birch was there, Joe Tasek, as well as Lars Johnson and myself, discussing the pre-construction that's slated to begin on June 13th, June 14th at the end of school, and should wrap up by early July. They're also going to be on the egress. They're not just patching. They're going to be doing a whole mill and fill, where they're going to mill the road and completely do an overlay over the entire egress. So it's initially they proposed just patching, and we were pretty insistent that we wanted full paving done on that parking or that exit area. So
Yeah, the company that Connecticut Water that does the construction does an outstanding job.
Yeah.
They're very good. I read this, I've seen the ordinance.
Let's make the motion so that
Okay.
we can
Yes, sure.
discuss it. Yeah, so I'll make the motion.
Second,
okay, so
Now
motion
we
and a
can
second.
now we can discuss.
Motion and a second that you approve me
For the easement, correct.
endorsing the easement.
The reading this, I was unsure of what we were talking about.
Okay.
When they say longitude here, there was no map to show
Oh, I should
what.
have sent you that.
Yeah, that would have been very helpful,
Okay,
just to have an idea, because these points don't mean a whole lot.
Yeah.
You know, unless you're a surveyor,
mhm,
okay? And we know that the easement almost touches our building going up here through the hill, because we had dealt with them, I think me, you and Steve, a few 4 or 5 years ago.
Right.
On, easement and squaring it away for access to the back. So just, we know where the tower is.
yeah,
So I take it they're gonna head towards the driveway that goes up and then
correct.
go right down.
And they're being mindful of the fiber network that goes from the town hall up to the school as well. So.
Yeah, because I forget how many years ago we had actually paved all of that.
mhm.
It might be even close to 8 to 10 years now. It's been a while. that we had repaved all of that up there. So, and like I said, they do good work, and it's one of the things that we're supposed to work with them and allow them to do, and it's for the betterment of the town.
Mhm. Suzanne, and anything?
No, I'm good to go.
Ken, any other discussion?
Nope,
All right, all in favor of approving the motion to grant the easement to Connecticut Water? Say aye.
I,
Aye. All right, so the next resolution is regarding Connecticut Department of Economic Development, the Community Investment Fund Round 3 grant. I think it's important to explain to the public. This is a request for $3.8+ million. It would include full depth reconstruction of Main Street, the road surface and the sidewalks. That's 3.3 million. There will also be an additional $309,000 towards funding gaps for the 65 Main Street renovation. And then the last thing is reconfiguring and structuring of Swanson Veterans Memorial Park, which is $192,000. There have been designs that were donated by J&D Civil Engineering and Steve Lewis that will make the park much more accessible for like sort of contemplation and really looking at and viewing the monuments that are there. So anyways, any thoughts? Or actually, I'll make a motion that we approve the resolution, and allowing the Director of Planning and Development to move forward with the grant application for the Connecticut Department of Economic Development.
second.
Okay, motion in a second. Any discussions?
No, they're all very well worth projects that we're trying to do with the upgrade through the connecting of between the two mills, and we've talked about Swanson Park over the last couple of years to make it an appropriate memorial setting for the people that have served the town, and it'll help with that loop and make it a great place to visit, and the NISRAC, Steve Lewis, Janet, the committee has done a excellent job with, taking that all into consideration and putting a good plan together to get this done.
Do you think it would be important for me to share some of the designs from Steve?
If you got them, sure, why not?
I can find them quickly. And I'd love to, I can share it with the audience here, but mostly, and also for the, I just have to search for their email. I mean, his email. Give me a second. It just popped into my head that I probably should have shared it. I don't get a lot from Steve Lewis. All right, maybe I can't find it.
It was in the past week,
I know.
yes.
Oh, there he is. That goes back to September. Get out of here. I'm not finding it.
Hmm.
Oh, I'm sorry. I really thought I could find it quickly.
But it does replace the existing sidewalk. It does
It moves the monuments.
moves the
into a-
monuments for easier viewing appropriately, gets rid of all the bushes.
Add some pavers. I want everybody to understand how beautiful it could be, because currently the monuments face the road. They're just like feet from the road. You can't even view them. So the idea is to create a park where you can actually spend time and really the people who gave their lives, the people who served can be honored in a nice manner. And also when we hold services there, there'll be a nice area to congregate together, and it's a fantastic potentially use of grant money to improve the overall aesthetics
And it's gonna bring our
purpose.
monuments down into one location
Yes,
as well, instead of having them scattered about in a couple of places. especially when we do our services, et cetera, like a Memorial Day, Veterans Day. It's long overdue
Mhm.
and the opportunity's there and definitely it'll enhance the town, plus the walkability with what we're trying to do as well. People can make the loop, go through Riverside Park, come back out across and take a break and look and reflect.
Yeah.
And it's a great opportunity.
All right, so any other thoughts? It's
Have we, so we have,
this, so I want to
So-
express this is a no match. This is a no match grant opportunity.
okay,
What our planner is using as leverage is the fact that we've received federal and state grants on other projects in this vicinity. So it's all, it needs to be tied together as a large community improvement project. And showing that you've received federal money, that you've received state money for other projects that are all part of this overall plan is very beneficial. And I think the biggest thing is that the $3.3 million for Main Street. We have used $103,000 of town road money for engineered design of Main Street. We've invested that already, so we have the design plans. So that's leverage as well, because it's all part of the greater plan. But that Main Street, we know Main Street is one of the worst roads right now. So.
the only question I would have is moving the monuments, you're talking about the one above the library or from 200, that, yeah. Wait,
We're
not
12,
200, we're 12 and,
12
and-
in Main Street.
Main Street, yes, me, right?
Mhm.
Do we know who placed that there?
We've already spoken to we've had the
That's
VFW
what-
and the American Legion involved with this whole process. So they've been consulted, and they will continue to be actively involved with choosing how the design comes out ultimately.
So that would be my only concern,
They're-
if that
They're
was.
very
was-
excited.
Okay, so they're involved, they're excited, and they've given the stamp of approval to move them down to the park where the others, okay.
Right.
That would be my only concern,
Yeah,
is that we need to be respectful
Oh, we-
to how those.
Yeah.
That was long
there
considered
and,
during this whole
But it needs
process.
to be known publicly that that has been consulted with and that they are fine with the movement of them because.
And they will continue to have an active role.
Yeah, as a matter of fact, one of the
decisions.
things that we did find out during the inventory of the monuments
That was-
as a committee, there is truly no singular World War II monument. There's a couple of small monuments that mention a variety of things that say World War II, but not like the Persian Gulf, World War I. And this will give us an opportunity to
Potentially create a new. one.
create a new one and do it appropriately. So that way, when we do have our
Good.
services and respects, it's all there.
Mhm.
Good,
So it's a project that we've been working on for a while.
Mhm. Any other thoughts? Comments? On this request to basically apply for a grant?
No, just one more comment. We were doing the lot zip like we did for the sidewalks through here.
But there's no
But-
money.
But the money right now has been tapped out, so
Yeah.
this is another avenue of getting that project done and the money to do it, and we have the engineering
Yeah.
done.
And you're absolutely accurate. After doing the sidewalk project here along Route 12. That was in my mind when I appropriated the money from the paving budget, because I thought, oh, surely we can get another lot zip fund. Well, it's completely tapped. It could be another 2, 3, 4 years. So this is the next alternative to actually improving another section of town that desperately needs the improvement.
Right, we can apply for this grant. If we get it, fantastic.
And no town funds, no other town funds will have to go into it.
Correct, and if we don't, hopefully they replenish the lot zip and we can get that project approved and continue from there.
All right. If there are no further discussion, all in favor of approving, adopting the resolution as presented, say aye.
I
Aye.
aye.
All right, next on the agenda, we do have new hires. You all should have received in your packet the applications. When we get to the animal control officer application, Ken, I know you had received all the applications. I left for you tonight the one that's being considered. It probably wasn't in the packet, but you should have gotten all of them prior to the committee, but we'll get to that. For now, I make a motion that we approve the new hire of Lynn Luby as recording secretary for the Recreation Committee and Economic Development Commission.
Second,
Okay, motion and a second. Any discussion on this applicant and this potential new hire?
No, I read the resume, very qualified.
I heard she was just fantastic. So I'm looking, I actually haven't met her. I look forward to meeting her. Good. Suzanne, any thoughts?
no, I think it's challenging to find recording secretaries, and when we find someone with good qualifications, then we should definitely hire them.
All right. So all in favor of approving the new hire, Lynn Luby, for recording secretary, say aye.
I,
Aye. All right. Next is the Recreation Department summer staff. I'll make a motion that we approve the hiring, and some of these staff members currently actually work for the Rec Commission. But for the summer staff this year at summer camp, Garrett Bertram, Paige Boisvert, Uren Ellis, Ariel Kopaz, Corey Kostakopoulos, Sarah Langlois, Dylan LaValle, Allison Tebow, Jaden Treadway, Nathan Treadway, and Madison Yost. Make that motion.
Second,
Any discussion on these individuals? Most of them have worked before. Or are currently
I see a
working.
couple of names I recognize.
Mhm. Yeah, there's a few. Okay, all in favor of approving the recreation summer staff as presented, say aye.
I,
Aye. All right, animal control officer, we held interviews for animal control officer. Ken could not attend, he had previous commitments, and it just worked out. It just didn't work out to adjust a different day. We had asked Dave Johnson from the Board of Finance. I thought that he would be a critical eye to the staff that we were interviewing, or the potential staff that we were interviewing. I think it turned out well. We did have an applicant who's currently working for the Mansfield Animal Control. We would like to offer her the position.
so this is a motion to
Make an offer.
make an offer and for you to hire. Would we need to come back and approve it?
I don't think so. I
Or
think
we're
this would
making
be
a
good.
motion for Amy to offer, to make an offer to the applicant and to hire.
but that's usually the process is.
No, well, usually the offer is made and then
Well, we've approved it in the past, but since it
Yes,
was a department
that's why
head
I'm asking
position,
if we would need to.
I don't think we need to do it again, because it's a department head position, the Board of Selectmen, there's not usually a different committee. It would have been us,
So maybe the
but really, we're
motion
just
would be
looking,
made to offer and approve or and hire. Yeah,
because currently it's a unanimous decision to offer the position to this individual. The difference is that you weren't able to sit in the interviews, but I tried to choose a representative that would be of a different thought than us, potentially, that would be a little bit more critical.
with
And
Dave.
yeah,
Yeah. Oh, I
And-
think it was, oh,
and Mr.
definitely.
Johnson was.
Yeah, he did a
Dave.
good job.
He always makes me, I call him Dave. I always want to call him Mr. Johnson, but Dave was very much in agreement that this was the candidate. So, you guys want to make the motion? Or you, I guess I'll
I
make the
thought you
motion
made-
because Ken can't, because he wasn't.
Okay, so I'll make the motion that
Because he's reviewed the application.
we make an offer to the applicant that was recommended by the committee.
Hiring
That,
committee.
yeah, interviewed, and for the authorization of the first selectman to hire this individual.
And I will second that motion.
Okay,
Any other discussion? Hearing none, all in favor of approving the new hire for animal control officer as presented, say
aye.
aye.
And due to the fact that I wasn't, I will abstain.
Okay,
Not that I have any problem with it, but just,
Sure.
I totally understand.
you know, that I wasn't there and I have the respect of, you know, the interview committee and Dave for the job that was done.
Thank you, Ken.
Thank you.
All right, appointment Dean, I'm not gonna know how to say his name, Kwasniewski.
Was
Are
new.
you here? Oh, okay. Did you know how to say his name? Kwasniewski, thank you. I heard the name said. So, appointment of Dean Kwasniewski to the building committee. We've received his, application for service. 35 years. in-
I'll second that.
Okay, I'll make
Then
that
you can-
motion.
Oh, I thought you made that.
No, it was just like,
Didn't you say I'll make the
did I say I'm making? a
I
motion?
don't know.
I
Anyway,
might.
we've made
It's
the
a long
motion and we
day.
have a second.
Okay, so Amy makes the motion that we approve the appointment of Dean Kwasniewski to building committee and Suzanne seconds that. You got that, Dottie? Okay, any discussion on this applicant? All in favor of approving Dean Kwasniewski to the building committee, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. And just to let the public know, he is a Thompson resident, obviously. And he also has 35 years in PLB, which I don't know what PLB is, but HVAC as well. So,
Could that be for
plumbing, maybe it was plumbing.
Yeah.
Plumbing, thank you.
plumbing and, yeah, HVAC?
I've never seen it like,
I haven't either.
yeah, so HVAC, that's important. So,
Well, yeah, especially with the potential of a $13.2 million
Right.
HVAC.
good addition.
HVAC.
Yep.
Sure. So you got a new member. Did we vote on that? Did we say aye? It's been a long day.
No.
Serious. Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Okay, I don't remember. It's been a long day.
Sorry.
Same.
I thought you made the motion.
Did we vote on it? How do you correct us?
It's been a long week and it's only Tuesday.
No, what's up with that? All right, agenda item 11, I think that's what we're all here for tonight. So I just want to give a little bit of backstory. Ever since I took office, there were multiple times that I would sit in a fire advisory committee and I would secretly go, fire tax. This is not an additional tax. What I'm proposing from this is that we put the power into the hands of the voters as well as the fire departments to answer to the people. To say to the people, this is what our needs are. This is how we're going to adequately fund our 5 departments. And then the people will decide what to provide. It takes out the middleman. It really puts the departments into an integrated fashion where they're working together for the same goals to meet the needs of the 5 departments. I think for too long, we haven't had a capital plan in place that the town or the Board of Finance felt that they could fund adequately. And this is just a way. This means it gets taken out of the town budget altogether. It's a reduction to the town budget. But what it adds is the ability for the departments to go to the public and say, these are our needs. These are our capital needs. This is what the equipment we need. Will you fund it? So all I'm asking for today from the Board of Selectmen is the approval to at least continue to research this, to conduct meetings with the town attorney to find out how this comes about. How does this get structured? Obviously, it will eventually go to town meeting for final approval. I'm not looking for the nitty-gritty tonight. I just want to know that the Board of Selectmen may or may not be in agreement with me moving forward with having discussions with the town attorney. Because obviously that's a cost to taxpayers every time you consult with the town attorney. So that was my approach with actually bringing it to the Board of Selectmen tonight, besides the fact with making it an open discussion. So I'm happy to hear from the selectmen.
I'll start. We all went to the last town meeting on Tuesday last week, and there was conversations at the end of that meeting about the fire and the funding and
Outside of the. meeting
outside of the
itself.
meeting.
Yeah.
And I had a discussion with a couple of chief and the president of a couple of fire departments, and with everything that was going on, and we've been kicking this can down the road for a number of years. Even when I was the fire association president at the time, trying to do the Woodstock model, and Woodstock did it, it works for them. And always trying to plead your case with the Board of Finance, it becomes very subjective to where the cuts come. And I did tell a couple of them on Tuesday night, it's time for a fire tax. We're evolving to that next step. And since then, I did talk with Bill yesterday, and
Mhm.
you did supply it. Because one of the the questions is what stays in the budget that the town has to take care of, and what would the Fire Tax Association take care of? And Bill broke it all down, and the biggest cost would be the workers' comp, and he was gracious enough to get that number, so that way.
Well, the biggest cost is the volunteer, the VFIS, which.
Well, of
Matt-
course, but that
and-
shifts over.
And I shared with you what Matt Grauer had put together as well, which shifted over the insurance over.
Correct.
And then the workers' comp is actually, in my mind, pretty minute at $30,000 a year roughly.
Well,
That's the smaller amount.
trying to find that amount of money, because it's grouped into our big policy, we needed to know what it would subtract out, so you have a number to work with, which Bill came up with, I believe was 30,000.
Bill and I worked together on this, and,
Yeah.
and from go, it was the ambulance service comes out. That does not become part of the fire departments, and the 911 QVEC comes out as well. Because that also, it's really something the town has to provide. So those were the two bigger items that I thought would come out, as well as the paramedic ambulance would also come out, because that wouldn't be part of fire services. Those were the three that I proposed from go that would come out.
Mhm.
But again, the biggest thing is, how do we structure this? That's the biggest question in the here and now. How does this get structured?
I did talk about this a number of years ago, and I can't remember if it was with our current Halloran and Sage, or was it with St. Ange, and Brulard, and that was a number of years ago. And I don't remember the process, but it has to be, I don't know if it's done by ordinance that creates this, and that's where,
Right.
You know,
most likely.
the town attorney is gonna give us direction to do that.
Mhm.
So I'm all in favor to move forward to explore this, to make their support, where just because they go to a fire tax district, they still have a board of directors that they answer to, et cetera, down the line.
And it's elected.
And it's
elected.
elected, and they weigh out what is appropriate and not appropriate, and basically like the Woodstock model does, except they don't answer to the
Board of Finance.
Board of Finance and the selectmen and the voters on the town side, but they still answer, to the tax district
Right.
and that. And I think it may be the better way to go in the long run, takes out part of it. So these numbers, we, pass on to so they have something to work with and take a look at. I do have a few copies that I had made
I
up
think-
from Bill.
And I will say, I mean, I gotta give credit to Chief Grauer, because his numbers pretty much, this is translated already into this. And,
Yeah, I hadn't seen this, but
Yeah,
I had
so
gotten
take a
stuff.
peek at that, because.
And I
that's-
did take a quick look. It's a great breakdown.
And he worked together with all the departments, which is highly commendable. They work together. This is really the opportunity for them to become an integrated service.
What I have asked is,
So
I
this is,
know,
We
this
can
is,
work together.
no, you do.
We do this all the time.
Seen that.
but this is what I would like to hear is how,
Really, where you're achieving goals together.
You work
And it's
together
not
more than you
just-
know.
And it's not just, I'm sorry, Boudreaux, but it's literally not, here's 80,000 for you and you get 80,000. No, we're working together and we're achieving goals together. And everybody's needs are being met. That's what I've always wanted for you guys and gals. I've always wanted your needs to be met, plain and simple. And I knew that sticking to the structure and even the Woodstock model wasn't going to work as long as you had to go through a board of selectmen and go through a board of finance before you got to the actual voters. This brings you immediately to the voters who have the ultimate say in what you receive. That's my sole intention from this.
I think that when they get figures to see what they're actually taking out of the budget, especially with people like Ms. Valerie Clark, should get a better understanding that, you know, even though she sees a room full of firefighters here, we're not trying to bully something through and add another tax.
Right,
It's just a solution that is beneficial to the town and it's really beneficial to us.
and I want you all to know that I've heard your cry. I really have all this time. I know you're underfunded. I know you can't meet the basic needs of the departments. You can't improve your buildings.
And we tried at the level fund,
The level funding,
when the first referendum didn't pass. Yeah. When we went back to level funding again this year,
I know,
that kind of knocked the wind out of us a little bit, you know,
right,
especially when especially when the Board of Finance went round and round about the 81,360, and then they tried to lower it a little bit to 78, 79, and they couldn't do it. And then they just left it at 81,360, and then lo and behold, it's back down to 71,002.
Right.
Which is a lot of money, but it's not as much as people think it is.
right, right.
So I personally would like to hear what your concerns are, what your fears are, what your hopes are for something like this, and if you're on board with it. Because it's not gonna work, in my opinion, if we don't have the full support from our fire departments. So if you want to share with me concerns, Evan, you look like you're on the fence.
No,
Ready to put your hand up? No?
we have to
Sandy?
we have
Yeah.
do something.
Sorry, no, I think the reason why we're all, and I counted, there's 25 of us, 27 now that 2 extra people came in. 27 of us here, we're all for this. It is high time that we get funded appropriately. We know that you have heard us time and time and time again, but every year we get got down by that Board of Finance, and you're right, it's time to take that middleman out. We need to show the town that we're here for them, not to make a buck. We need more. We can't keep going the way we're going. It's gonna come to the point where nobody's gonna be able to respond to emergencies. So we're not gonna have the money to put fuel in our trucks. It's that bad.
And I
We
think
need the help.
And
the
everybody
town
that
does
was,
support our fire service. I really believe that. I've never talked to a person who said, you know, cut the fire departments. I think, well, there was one. But I think that in general, I think that this is a better way to fund the fire departments.
and I just want everybody to know that was Sandy Sinay from,
Sure.
Sharp, I'm sorry, I'm
Okay.
sorry. Sandy Sharp from
Floral Lab.
Community
Yeah, community.
Fire Department Floral Lab.
And,
Well, I
Justine,
think Mr.
Oh.
Fournier, Chief
Sorry.
Fournier.
Good, lady
Okay,
first.
ladies first.
Justine Gendro, Linda Lane, Quinnebog, from Quinnebog. Just in our department alone, we've got, what, 3 or 4 people going through firefighter one, a significant cost. Two sets of gear,
That many people.
two
going
sets
through.
of gear
That is.
without helmets and boots was over $9,000 that we just shelled out again. We just shelled out 140,000 for new SCBA's or for tanks for us. Where, you know, then the price of electric is going up, gas is going up, the home heating is going up. So just our basic needs have been going up, but yet we're still level funded and we're dipping into our piggy bank a lot. Not that I'm complaining, but it's just that we need to see the light at the end of the tunnel. And it's getting dimmer and dimmer sometimes every year, especially when we go through this. It was 81, now we're down to 71. It just makes it difficult for us to keep trying to be inventive as to how we're going to come up with the money.
Well,
Chief Fournier.
Chief Fournier, East Thompson. We have to do something to move forward. Our equipment is getting older. We're at the point that we need to start replacing some large pieces of equipment. They're not cheap anymore. You're looking at $750,000 million pieces of equipment. Several of the engines are about ready to age out. And there won't be replacement equipment unless we do something different. By, level funding or getting money taken away every year, it makes that goal much further away. We can't do it on chicken barbecues and self-funding. It's not even close to possible.
Yeah.
So unless we start working towards capital improvement, and something, we'll get to the point where we won't be able to respond to calls adequately. We won't have the equipment, so something has to give.
And Chief Fournier, I will completely agree with you. I'm in the food service business, and I know you don't make a lot of money in the food service business. You have to sell a lot of chickens. So
and it
it's
doesn't
not
happen.
cutting it. So, and I completely understand that. So,
You
any
got
other,
Lieutenant Leach community. We're throwing around a lot of really big numbers, and I think it's very difficult for the general public to understand the kind of numbers that we're throwing around. I think the model that we're presenting is something that will educate the general public to what it costs to actually fund and run a fire department. It was just mentioned about SCBA's. Well, that's not something that we frivolously want to go out and purchase. It's something that's mandated by the NFPA that we have to replace every so many years. Trucks, gear, all of that has to be replaced per NFPA every so many years. And the cost of it every year goes up and up. So I think it's a good opportunity for the general public to understand what it is that we're asking for and the cost associated with it.
right,
And to piggyback on that, Evan Fosher, Assistant Chief of Community. I sat down with John this year and did the budget. And it really put things into perspective for me. I always knew we were kind of scraping the bottom of the barrel, but piggyback on what Brian said. Any chief here, any fire department here, our doors are open. If anybody from the public wants to stop in, we're more than happy to share what it is we do and what it is we need.
John Kaczynskis, East Thompson, I live in Bonnet Ave, Thompson, Connecticut. I'll agree with everybody else what they said. I'm the president of the board at East Thompson, and our SCBA, we get a loan. We had to take a loan out. We tried 4 or 5 years in a row to get a grant for that, and we were unsuccessful every time. And it got to a point, again, they had to be replaced. We didn't have an opportunity. Again, our first 2 pieces getting old. That's like collateral that we're using to buy. It's going to get to a point where we're not going to be able to do that. And I think it's going to be either dangerous where somebody's going to get seriously hurt or lose their life, or, we're not going to be able to respond and not fire department. It's going to be somebody from the town.
yeah. Yeah.
No.
Oh, Chief Grau,
Chief Brower, Thompson Hill. You did ask what some of the concerns were. One of my concerns is that we have to have volunteers to do this board. The town has to step up. If you're gonna complain about taxes, and everything that goes along with that, people have to step up to be on this board, make sure this board works and protect the town the way it should be. If anyone questions on what kind of fire service you have in this town, everyone knows what just happened just north of us with a church. There's not a church in the area that has been saved, except in Thompson.
Twice.
By these people.
thank you.
We
for
are
bringing
committed
that
to
up.
this town,
Mhm.
and we hope the town is committed to us.
Thank
We
you.
don't go on vacations with this money. These are all necessities.
Mhm. I know it is.
And I have no doubt that you are all committed to this town and to what you do. And it's for a volunteer position, the heart and what you put into it is amazing. And I know what it takes to become a fireman, and you don't take it lightly. Now, I personally don't know, but I know vicariously through my son.
Chief Sharp.
Chief John Sharp, Community, Floral Ave, North Silverdale. I've been part of community now for going on 38 years. I've seen a lot of changes in the fire service. I started out knowing nothing and expanding upon it and eventually becoming chief of the department. I want to commend all the chiefs in this room. I want to especially thank Chief Grauer for his hard work and putting this program together. The other chiefs for spending a lot of time to compile all these numbers. Like everything else, the price of everything goes down. Our budgets have not seen that increase or grown according to what a lot of the equipment does. Average now for a single person, I will say person, we have females and males, to equip them to appropriately enter into a hazard environment. Doesn't necessarily have to be a fire, but anywhere where a hazardous condition, about $15,000. Tri-State Fire meet was a couple weeks ago. Unfortunately, I wasn't able to make it. There was an aerial piece of equipment that was brand new, that was on demonstration. I don't know if it had all the bells and the whistles, but that one truck had $2 million. I do have to say it's $2 million. There's no way that any department in the town of Thompson would ever be able to afford that. We have dished into a lot of our savings over the years to try to make ends meet. To keep the lights on, keep the fuel in the trucks, to make sure that we have appropriate hose. We are regulated and try to somewhat governed by NFPA to try to stay compliant. At this moment, we're bordering on non-compliance just because we don't have the money. With the decrease in this year's budget, I initially had hoped to put 3 sets of new turnout gear on some of my members. I have to put that on hold. We don't have the money. There is a FEMA grant for communications that is done by QV, the dispatch center, which we are bound to if we do get awarded that grant for updated communication equipment. It's going to be approximately $7,500 to $8,000. I don't know how this is all going to turn out this year. My thought process is that I may have to sit in front of the Board of Finance again and ask for some more money just to try to make ends meet. I'm hopefully not going to, but every year it gets tougher and tougher. I took over as chief 10 years ago in hopes that I could continue to improve and work with the other chiefs to make Thompson better. Hopefully we've done that, but it gets tiresome. It's heartbreaking that after all this time, we're still somewhat in the dark ages with Thompson. So hopefully the taxpayers will see that and at least come on board. I'll reiterate the fact that, our doors are always open. They can see what we have, we can see what we're up against, and hopefully they'll be very positive when it comes to that. Thank you.
Thank you, Chief. Yes, Mr. Durant.
Roger Durant, Brickyard Road, a longtime member of Community Fire Company. I think one of the things that the public doesn't see or realize with underfunding your fire departments, your emergency services, is the damage it does to the morale of the people in this room. And it also is really hard for us to attract new members when we can't provide them with turnout gear, and we have to give them hand-me-down stuff. So I think that's a big effect of underfunding that the public doesn't see.
Thank you. I think that's a valid point, for sure.
Well,
Any other thoughts? Chief Whipple?
Matt Whipple, 113 Riverside Drive, Chief of West Thompson. I'm the same as the other departments in town. I have a 1989 boat that's in dire need to be replaced. I have an aging forestry truck. I have STVAs that need to be replaced. I have the same grant these guys are all putting in for. We're in the same boat. We all need equipment, and it's hard when you have the bare bones budget. So, the door's open. If anybody wants to, we have.
So basically, we know that ultimately this will be in the hands of the voters to decide if we move in this direction. But what I'm asking for from the Board of Selectmen is to give me approval to reach out to the town attorney to at least start the process of investigating and hopefully moving towards the system so that it can be in place for next year's budget season.
So I would not limit that to the town attorney.
Okay,
I would say to investigate a tax district, program to put together a model that we can approve
Okay.
and take to a town meeting and then referendum.
and I'd
if that's how it
also
works.
potentially like to, once we start understanding the structure, I'd like to be able to sit down with the chiefs. And just like Chief Brower came up with this, we can really sit down and do the numbers together and ultimately to present to the Board of Selectmen to move to town meeting to get the approval of the public to get this in place before next fiscal year. That would be my ultimate hope. So I'm
I just-
looking for a
Well,
blessing.
I don't think it needs a motion, but the
Okay.
consensus
The
is
consensus.
definitely to move forward with this. It seems the best way to go. I think it'll help the fire departments out immensely. It just shifts the burden from our town budget over to their budget. And when it comes for the public to understand the needs, they may be more open-minded where it's not buried in the regular budget as one big number with, just the fire stuff that they actually see. Yes, we're putting $1 million into the fire service. We know it's going there.
Mhm.
And they'll have more comfort and ultimately they'll have more support with that. Is that possible? Taxes may go up, of course, but they'll be voting knowing that it's definitely earmarked towards the fire service.
Right.
Because we're navigating into waters that we haven't really investigated before, I'm assuming that this would be a separate line item on the annual referendum for the budget, or is that a separate vote?
Well, typically the
Or is
way
that a town meeting vote?
it's more of a town meeting vote generally, if I understand, I guess it's gonna, that's why I think.
So
the town
these are the
attorney
things
can
that I would
answer.
like to know.
Generally, districts hold a town meeting style vote where the district comes, in this case, it's town-wide, but the town would be invited, we'd probably hold it at the auditorium. There would be a board in place that would be elected potentially before the
And
end
it's
of the
elected,
year. Yes.
Not appointed.
Yeah, but elected at town meeting generally as well. It's all town meeting format generally. Correct me if I'm wrong, gentlemen, anybody, but
Not
that's
saying
the way
yes,
I
yeah.
understood
But
fire
is it-
tax districts, but again, we have to investigate to
We
understand the
can get
steps.
more information,
There might be multiple ways to build it.
but ultimately is how you create the fire district to separate it with, it allows them to do that.
And if you look at the way, I mean, in my mind, I'm kind of thinking the way WPCA is built out, we want this in place before the actual town budget goes to vote. Because I think it's important for the taxpayers to know what the fire tax is gonna be. Or have them together, I don't know.
So these are the things that we have to learn.
Yeah. Because it could be billed April and October, it could be billed July and January, just like
But they will receive separate bills.
separate bill.
It's not on your bill, a separate line.
Or it can be on the town tax bill, because this is the way it is in other states that have separate taxes. You have the general town tax, and then you have the fire and EMS tax. And they're all in the same bill, but they're separate lines.
But in this case, it would be just fire.
It depends how we structure it. Yes, it would just be fire, not EMS. It wouldn't be.
Yeah.
ambulance. I'm just saying that's the way they bulk it in other states.
We do have a resident in town that is on the board of directors at Dayville.
Right.
So,
Oh, yeah, Larry is.
yes,
And my family obviously has
So-
been part of the
And your
district.
family
for
has,
so,
100 years
has-
almost.
yeah.
yeah, so with that, there's enough information there that they can meet and
Well, to be quite honest, that's
Aid.
where I'm drawing my information from. It's a separate entity altogether. It's a separate animal altogether, but it's the same basic structure.
Yeah.
For
But-
sure.
but
But
we'll be-
Larry could certainly give us
but we'll
information.
be able to get, their bylaws, their
Mhm.
structure, how they go about it.
Right.
How they have evolved with it and give us that guidance, which is critical to getting this off the ground.
Right, absolutely. Yeah, Chief Brown.
Carol Thompson Hill, just a quick comment to the audience, I guess, is that if you have questions about this, I would love you to go out to other fire districts in other towns that actually do this and do some of your own homework. To see what kind of budgets East Putnam has on their own, how much South Killeen has on their own. They're all separate fire districts. And I encourage anyone to go out there and do some of your own research before you start making opinions and you know, make sure you educate yourself on how this all works everywhere else. Basically, except Thompson.
We're not citizen comments.
Because I mentioned her name, she wasn't gone.
So I just want to make sure that, you know, there's going to be time for you to do your own research. Don't wait for these meetings. Don't wait for the presentation. You try to get a educated opinion on your own first. To come with the good questions to ask us. As the other chiefs make an appointment with me if you want to come see Thompson Hill. I'll give you I'll open the books to you. I'm 100% open on what we're doing. But educate yourself and really understand what kind of a situation we're getting in.
We know we have to do something.
I love that. I
Guys.
love that idea, Chief Brother, because I'm happy to even pull the data from the other departments prior to any type of presentation to the public. I think that's an excellent idea.
You have Chief Sharp here.
Oh, yes, Chief Sharp.
Again, Chief Sharp, community, Floral Lab, just to reiterate what Chief Brower said. We all the chiefs are well aware of what the program is entailing. So that if anybody from the public needs to discuss that with us, we're more than happy to open up the doors. We're opening up our books. We're about as transparent as anybody else. We're willing to, explain, sit down and talk with them. So if any, resident has a concern, we're all looking at the program. We all have a general idea of what it's going to entail, some costs and so forth associated. So again, I just want to reiterate that.
One last time.
Okay.
Chief Brown, don't form an opinion by Facebook. One of my
Stay off social media.
my last statement that anyone in the public or anywhere, come to the source, come to us. That's how I feel.
I couldn't agree with you.
And I was just gonna say the same thing. I couldn't agree with you more because somehow the keyboard warriors come up with all kinds of solutions, answers, and half the time they don't mirror what's actually going on. So going to the sources, the chiefs, as well as the Board of Selectmen, if you want real factual information, not social media.
And the chiefs will meet as a group if anyone wants to do that. We meet regularly, so it's not.
Once a month, right? Once a month.
Yeah, we tried.
So where do we go from here? You have the consensus,
Okay.
and so you'll start to investigate and work with the
Absolutely. Start
chiefs
tomorrow.
and if we need to call special meetings to work with the chiefs, or if we need to add it onto our agenda, I love this, to be honest, because we're getting your input, not just chiefs, but all of the department, members that want to contribute.
Right.
So if it's on our agenda, that's fine too.
Yep.
With me.
I'm fine with it.
All right. Any other thoughts, comments? All right, with that, we're gonna move on. Excited to get started on this. I've been waiting for this for 4 years. Other business, any other business to bring before the board tonight? I don't have anything.
I have nothing.
All right, citizen comments. Ms. Clark, you had your hand up. Now is the time you can speak.
Thank you. So Valerie Clark, 105 Elm Road. And I just want to make sure that while the members of our fire departments are in the room, that they understand that the reason I brought the item up at the beginning of the meeting is because I've seen this in other meetings go south, and I wanted to at least be able to comment about concerns ahead of time. But the most important thing is that I attended almost every single one of the Board of Finance meetings. And sometimes those meetings happened and the fire department budgets were discussed and there was no one there advocating for the fire departments and for their budget to be preserved. And I did. I strongly feel that we should be supporting our fire departments. I requested that the Board of Finance not level fund, and that if they were doing any allocation to your departments, that they allocate at the budgets you requested, not to take the total amount and split it evenly. And I was the one advocating for you, and my concern before this agenda item came up, because I was not aware of it. I wanted to be sure that this was not yet another opportunity to cut your budgets or to force the citizens to pay for more than they have agreed to. And I would love to be involved in this process, and I appreciate that all of you were here and that you all spoke. Thank you.
Thank you. Any other citizen comments? We'll stick with the virtual audience right now. Virtual audience, citizen comments. Feel free to unmute, state your name and address. Okay, I am not seeing any. We'll move to the live audience. Anybody stand up, state your name and address. Don't be shy. Chief Sharp.
Chief Sharp, community, Floral Lab, just one last thing. People have to realize that we're all volunteers. If we answer the call, middle of the night, snowstorms, you name it, we're there. We're not always guaranteed to come home. There's nothing stating that any one of us will ever leave that emergency scene. And we do it as volunteers. It's a semi-thankless job. I'm very appreciative of what our townspeople do for us and thank us for our service. And we're always looking for new volunteers. Kind of a crazy thing to say, but it's a terrible job and it's under crappy conditions, but we always look for volunteers. It's a thing that gets in your blood. And it's hard to leave it. So that's all I have to say.
Thank you. Chief Woodrow.
What you talking about the town pride. I think the town pride with the fire departments was evident at the Memorial Day parade. There was, I believe, 10 pieces of apparatus. 11
You made the
ambulance.
parade.
Well, not that we want to say that, but yeah, we kind of
Yeah.
did. And you know, that was a Monday. That was time away from, you know, families, but it really wasn't, because we were with the fire department families, and it was, you know, it was a show of pride, a lot of pride in this town. And I'm really happy that Valerie Clark spoke the way she did. And like John said, that, you know, it's a volunteer position. Not every, I wasn't able to make every Board of Finance meeting. There was never a heads up that we're gonna discuss the fire departments at that specific night. The two nights that we went, or the two nights that we went, there was a huge discussion about it, and then it was tabled. So when they ask during the meeting, is there anything else we want to revisit? And then all of a sudden, they looking to reduce or speak about the department budgets. You know, I wish I had been there. Every chief in here, every firefighter in here wished they had been there. But we just had no idea. I mean, we can't make every Board of Finance meeting. There are so many meetings that we go to, and some people work shifts. Myself work shifts, so. I feel good that she said that, and I'm glad for her support, and I hope there's many more like that, and then, you know, maybe we should get her on the committee.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Lieutenant Matt Brower, Thompson Hill, Blaine Road. I just want to make it evident to the listeners, it's important to remember too, that at our current funding, that's about the salary of one paid firefighter. Just put that out there.
Right.
And that's covers everything. It covers apparatus, it covers all of us volunteers. So just want to put that out there.
But the problem being it doesn't cover.
Exactly.
So. Any other citizen comments? Okay. Virtual audience, one more time. Want to make sure everybody has a chance to speak. All right, hearing and seeing none, yes.
Yeah,
you
I
wanna
just
speak?
as a board member, but as a resident, it has never been the intention of this board to underfund you or to cut your budgets. It has always been to promote the fire departments, and I think that you guys are the heart and soul of our town. And I think that we need to be, when you talk about pride, growing up as a child of the fire departments, that was where our community was centered around our fire departments. And I think that we as a town can do better with that. And I think that sometimes people don't understand what's in the budget and what it means to vote no. And when people are out voting no and they're advocating for that, they don't realize that that affects our safety. And that's one of the things that I've been saying all along with this particular budget. There was a lot of safety in this budget, and it bothered me that it didn't pass, because it concerns me, because the first, maybe not the first department, but you guys lost a funding that you desperately need. And you've been as underfunded as some of the other parts of this town and the budget in the town. So this hopefully is a solution where people can support you, and we can get behind our firefighters and continue to keep our town safe.
Well, and I just, now that you've said,
I'm sorry,
no,
I
but
just don't want anyone to think
definition of
that.
insanity, doing the same thing over and over again and expecting different results. Been doing that. I mean, I've been sitting on the board for 6 years and watched this happen year after year after year. It is time for the change. Change begins now. The change begins in fiscal year 25. And we're gonna make it happen. This board is gonna make it happen. And with the public's approval, we can do this.
And we have to get Matt Whipple that vote, because every year I've been on this board and the Board of Finance, he's been asking for this vote.
I think, do I
Oh, no,
have
not another
$16,000 that I can give to West
Can
Town?
Can we have a chicken?
Matt,
pot
the water
pie?
wings don't work anymore.
Fraser,
We gotta get Matt that vote,
I know.
because I can't deal with him coming back and asking for it again.
All right, we're gonna move forward. There
Okay, I
Yep,
just have
I'm
one.
sorry. Ken.
Evan has.
If
one.
any of the fire departments want that Board of Finance, what Bill put together with the costs and so forth, they're here, please take one.
It's basically an excerpt from the budget with the ambulance.
With it on it, but it's just broken down.
So,
Evan wanted to make a.
Oh, yeah.
comment.
Just real quick, yeah, Evan Fosher, 74 Riverside Drive. I've been in the community for 15 years now, since I was in high school. And to me, the public may not see it like this, but to me, this is my home. It's my family. And the same with everybody else in this room. We obviously don't do it for money. So sometimes when I hear people say, oh, what the heck, the fire department's this and that. I spent countless hours doing trainings, spent thousands of dollars of my own money to do these trainings. Spent time away from my wife, spent time away from my daughter. And when I get that reaction from the townspeople, it hurts. And there is no guarantee that any of us are gonna go home.
Right.
So just want people to take that into consideration as well. We obviously love doing it. So
and we thank you for your service.
Good point.
Absolutely.
we're all happy to do it.
Takes a special breed.
It does. And my father back here didn't realize it until he joined. And then he said, you guys are nuts.
Our families feel it when we're away. Over any one of us that have been in the fire service, retired or current, it's a devotion and it's a lot of hours, and it's a very thankless job.
Nobody appreciates us till they need us.
Exactly.
All right. Moving on. Okay. Tax refunds, there are none.
Excellent.
Make a motion that we adjourn at 8:14 PM.
Second,
All in favor of adjournment, say aye.
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 Thank you, everybody, for coming out tonight.